We're at one of the biggest turning points the world has ever been at in its entire history.
We're noticing the old systems beginning to break down and fall away. We're going to go through some chaos.
Our eyes and our hearts are wide open now. We're not blind anymore.
Many are stepping away from organized religion. Many are not trusting the mainstream media anymore. It appears that education in many ways has turned more into indoctrination.
Can you imagine world systems based on true values? Love, sovereignty and empowerment, community and equality?
New systems are going to come to take their place, which ties into CARALOT, the quantum unity of CARALOT, the new systems that are built upon love and unity consciousness. When we get on our purpose, we have this inner fulfillment. We begin to have this glow, and universal intelligence, our angels, our spirit guides begin to orchestrate things behind the scenes to help us to fulfill our divine life purpose. You're going to be changing people's lives for the better, not by the thousands, but by the millions.
Hey guys, you're so welcome here to the podcast today. I'm Sarah, a quantum healer, life coach and teacher. And I'm so excited to have James T Griffin on the podcast today. An author, wellness coach, hypnotist and healer, and most importantly, the founder of CARALOT, a new conscious heart-centered movement that we've all been waiting for. Find yourself a warm and cozy space with an open mind, open heart and ears. Enjoy.
Sarah.
Hi, James.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me well?
Perfectly.
Perfect. How are you?
Awesome. Great. Really excited for today.
Oh, me too. I'm so happy to welcome you, and I'm so grateful for you taking the time to come on and talk about very interesting topics. I'd like to give a lovely warm welcome to James, a new friend that we've recently come across, and I'll allow you to explain everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Very grateful to be here. And I really feel that divine intelligence and synchronicity connected us through our lovely spirit sister, Lonna. So I'll go a bit of a background on how I connected with Lonna, because I know Lonna has been a guest on your podcast before. Mm-hmm. So what happened was, I love talking multidimensional, by the way. So I love how we were free to go multidimensional. So it was actually in the Labor Day weekend of August 2025, so just last year. What happened was I went to Lilydale, New York, and that's New York's a state in the United States, and Lilydale is a community. And it's a community where the wall between the spirit realm and the earth realm is thin, we'll call it thin. And many travel around the world at least once to go there to experience the energy of Lilydale. So Lilydale is a community of spiritualism. So it is a community of about probably 80-ish houses, and most of them are occupied by mediums, so those who can communicate with the afterlife. So you can go to Lilydale between the summer solstice and Labor Day weekend, and what happens is they offer free public readings. So public readings have been going on at Lilydale for 145 years, and it began with children, actually. So there's this place there called the Inspirational Stump, and a tree fell over there a long time ago, 145-ish years ago. And what happened was, it was just a stump, and children would congregate there and start giving messages from the afterlife, the spirit realm. So it was just children. And then what happened was the parents were wondering, where are our children going? So they would follow the children and realize they were giving messages from the afterlife. So I believe the community was generally open to that. So it was not anything new to the community. And then adults started to go and do the same thing. So as time went on, the community was formed. So back then there was just a stump, and it was on the really hot days, it was like a sacred ceremony. And men would wear these thick wool suits, and women would wear the hats and the dresses. So even though it was really hot, they treated it as a sacred experience. So as time went on and the community grew, they put wooden benches there because many came to Lilydale. Word got around the world, especially in the US and Canada, but around the world, where, oh, you can get messages from your loved ones in the afterlife. So benches were added because many would come over the years. So fast forward back to 2012 was when I first went there, because my partner at the time, she did spiritual mediumship. So we wanted to find out what Lilydale was all about. So I went there between 2012 and 2019, and then 2020, 2021, and 2022. During the lockdown years, I didn't go. I really missed it when I couldn't go there those years. And then 2023, I went a few times. 2024 and 2025, I went. So I've been going there for a long time, and it does in some ways feel like a home away from home for me. So anyways, I went there twice in August of 2025. And the second time I went, I got a message from my grandfather from a medium at the Stump. And my grandfather said, something is coming up in 5 weeks through the medium. And he said, whatever it is, drop whatever you're doing and go, because it's going to be the best thing you ever did. And I'm thinking to myself, what could this possibly be? And number 5, like 5 weeks, that's a very specific number. Yeah. So what happened was I found out that Lonna was going to be at the Barrie Psychic Fair. And Barrie is a small city north of Toronto, about an hour drive away. And she was going to be at the Psychic Fair. So I did find Lonna online before that, but I didn't realize that the 5 weeks led up to that. So I went there with the intention of introducing her to my concept of spiritual sovereignty and the quantum unity of CARALOT. Because if my grandfather said it, and she was the only reason why I went up there, and I drove an hour for that. I also got a aura and a chakra scan, which is always very fascinating. There's different technologies that can do that. And so I get there and I see there's a bunch of other intuitives and card readers and so on, but I was only interested in connecting with Lonna. I bought a few crystals as well. And when I got there, she was with a client giving a reading. So I get my aura scanned, I go buy some crystals, and I'm sitting in the area where chairs are set up where you can wait for your reading. So I'm just keeping an eye on Lonna. And finally, her client, she finished. And I know that in between doing readings, an intuitive needs some decompression time. But so I just thinking to myself, I'm going to go in just 2 minutes. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to introduce spiritual sovereignty. I'm going to introduce CARALOT, because it all ties into the ascension of consciousness and what's going on in the world right now, which we're going to be exploring a lot in this call. So I realized I had 2 minutes. So here I am, motor mouth. Hi, my name is James, and I explained how I found her online, and this is what I'm creating, and it all ties into the ascension of consciousness. And I said, I was actually guided to come here. I didn't tell her the full story about my grandfather yet, but I came just to connect with you. And she said, James, I'm in 100% resonance with everything you're saying. Take my card, and then we'll set up a Zoom call. Great, thank you, Lonna. Great to connect in with you. So that was a Saturday. Then next day, I'm feeling enthused. I want to connect with her and share more information. And I send her an email. And a week goes by after the email, nothing, no response. I'm like, oh, that's strange. Okay, well, let's send another email. So I sent another email. Hey, Lonna, sent you a last email. Not sure if you got it, but really looking forward to connecting. And then another 2 weeks goes by. I'm like, wow, this is really, nothing happened. I'm like, okay, third time's a charm. So I send an email to her again, one last time, then I'm just letting it go. And she gets back to me the next day. She said, James, thank you for your emails. The first 2 went to my spam, and I don't usually check my spam. So I checked this one. And as I said, I'm very much in alignment and resonance with what you're doing, what you're creating. So let's set up the Zoom call. So we set it up about 2 weeks after that, just to align up with our schedules. So it was on a Saturday. However, on the Thursday, she sent me an email saying, James, I woke up this morning with a strong intuition that it would be best if we met in person. I'm not sure what your schedule is like on Saturday. If you can't and you just want to do Zoom, that's great as well. But I feel it's important that we meet on Saturday in person. And then after getting into your book, Spiritual Sovereignty, A Path to Unity and Consciousness, because I emailed her the PDF version, and she said, after reading that for 20 minutes, I strongly feel we need to meet in person. But again, please let me know your schedule. So I got back to her and said, you know what? I happen to keep Saturday open synchronistically. So I'll tell you what, you choose the location and I'm happy to drive wherever you are. Because I remember you saying that you lived, north of where I live. So I drove an hour, she drove half an hour. We met at a coffee shop, which was the calmest, most zen vibe between where we were living. And 3 hours felt like 30 minutes. And it felt like spirit brother, spirit sister from many lives reconnecting for a very strong purpose. And it turned out that she's very much into astrology, and just as a tool to consult with. It's not the be all and end all, but astrology is a tool to help us understand our journey here, our purpose, and our personalities. So we have many correlations within our chart. Both of our sun signs are Scorpio, both of our moons are in Aries. There's a couple of other correlations there, but she said she introduced me to something in astrology that I wasn't aware of, and everyone else who I introduced it to wasn't aware of. It's the vertex anti-vertex, and we had opposites, Capricorn, Cancer, Cancer, Capricorn, and she said that means that prior to incarnation into the earth, two souls were destined to come together from previous lives as well to make a big difference on the planet. And I was very happy to find that out, because intuitively I felt that there was a strong connection with us, and the fact that astrology backed it up with those synchronicities and with our charts, I was very, very grateful to hear that there is some synchronistic correlations in our astrology chart. And from there, she mentioned you, and that you two got the training with Dolores Cannon's quantum hypnosis healing technique, which I was very aware of, and I really love the depths that goes, because it acknowledges past lives and the effect and impact they could have on our lives today. So she mentioned you, and I said, well, can you bring up CARALOT? She's like, well, I'm not sure how Sarah will feel about it. And when she brought it up to you, she told me, like, you were very much in alignment with it, you're glowing. And then you and I had our call together, and it felt, again, the hour-ish we had together felt like 10 minutes. Like, it's just never enough time, because when your two souls are in alignment together, time just goes out the window when you're in the moment.
Just a brief interruption to say thank you so much to all of you for listening with your open ears, your open heart, every single week. I'm so grateful for you. For those of you who are new, and for those of you who have been here since the beginning, everyone, I'm very, very grateful. Statistics on YouTube have shown me, as well as Spotify, 86.1% of you who listen to this channel aren't subscribed, and 13.9% of you who do listen to this channel are subscribed. While I'm very grateful for you both, I'd like to ask those of you who haven't subscribed to please subscribe, to show your support for the channel and to help the channel grow and be suggested to others. If you feel called to like and comment, that would even boost this channel even further and reach more and help more people out there who might feel that they need this kind of content in their lives. Thank you so much, everybody. Now back to the episode.
So that's how we came together, and I'm very grateful because of the energy that you bring to what we're bringing to the world as well, and through CARALOT as well. So we'll talk a little bit more about CARALOT as time goes on, but I do want to talk about the shift in consciousness that's going on right now as well.
Definitely. I'd love to talk about the shift in consciousness that we're currently going through.
Okay. All right. So many are aware, who are like awakening and remembering that we are spirits, is that we're in a big transition right now. So the Mayan culture, many have heard of the Mayans. There's pyramids down and where Mayan used to be, now it's Guatemala. Even the Hopi culture and the Aztec culture. And there's other cultures who prophesize this, but those are the three off the top of my head. Their calendars don't go by linear time. They go by cycles of time. Some cycles are huge. Some are 25,000 years. Some are 5,125 years. So those are the Mayan couple of their cycles. And what they foresaw, December 21st, 2012, many of us have heard of that date. It came and went. And many felt that something specific was going to happen that day. And I knew nothing specific, but it was a window of time that those three cultures wanted us to be aware of, because they said there's going to be some sort of shift, ascension of consciousness. And even Edgar Cayce, many know him as the sleeping prophet, one of the most accurate intuitives. Some refer to him as a psychic in American history. He gave 14,000 readings over the course of his lifetime. And he even foresaw in his progression, when you see probable futures, that there was going to be a shift in ascension in consciousness in and around the 2012 window of time. So all these cultures and intuitives point in the direction that there's going to be a shift in consciousness. Not a lot of detail was given as to what it was, but it was going to be for the better. Generally speaking, more unity consciousness. That was generally the idea. So from there, look what we're going through right now. So we're going through this shift. Now, before any great change, let it be personally or globally, it's preceded by chaos. There's a big shakeup. So right now we're going through a multi-dimensional vibrational earthquake, so to speak. So look around what's going on in the world. So I'm not going to get into the politics of anything, but we do notice big changes are happening, epic changes that are having ripple effects around the world. So right now, those who are not living fully conscious, where they're identifying as humans and we're only human, and it's like end times. So even like Revelations in the Bible, end times is, ooh, what's going to happen? So we're noticing the old systems beginning to break down and fall away. And just to add to that, many have had near-death experiences. So their physical being loses life, no heartbeat, no brain activity. They cross over temporarily to the spirit realm and they come back. And not everyone, well, everyone who has an NDE, generally speaking, comes back with the remembrance that they're a spirit and the human is a costume and we're here with a purpose and we live in an interconnected energy field. And on top of that, they come back with the glow, you know, with the glow that I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And some of them have come back saying, we were told that there is going to be a major shift in consciousness. The old world, the old systems, politics, legal, media, education, and more, entertainment, they're all going to be breaking down and falling away in their own way over the next coming years. They didn't put a specific timeline in it. Some of them said 5 to 10 years. That's a grain of sand on the beach of time, but it's like right around the corner. So as these old systems are breaking down and falling away, we're going to go through some chaos. Now, those of us like, you know, Sarah, you and myself, we're recognizing we weather the storm. So when the big tidal waves come, we're not drowning in the tsunami. We get out the surfboards and ride the wave. Not everybody's prepared to do that, but you and I, with our conscious awareness, we are aware of what's going on. So we stay ahead of the curve and above the wave. So they also said new systems are going to come to take their place, but they don't really give much detail as to what these systems are, which ties into CARALOT, the quantum unity of CARALOT, the global organized unity consciousness that I've sort of downloaded. I've had a general idea of doing something global for 28 years. However, it was in 2014 on my computer, I have my first document that says CARALOT on it. So fast forward 2014, 2016, 12, 13 years later, here we are. So my intention in my download for CARALOT was to form organized unity consciousness, because it's only when we form organized unity consciousness we can begin to build the new systems that are built upon love and unity consciousness. So some of the systems within CARALOT that we are establishing is Educare. Many are not aware that the English word education has some Latin roots. One of them is educare, E-D-U-C-A-R-E, and that means to nourish, to elevate. So I realized that in order to create a new paradigm, new systems, new perception, we got to bring in as much new language as possible. So I replaced with the quantum unity of CARALOT, we have CARALOT'S Educare system. So Educare, changed the pronunciation to Educare, because it's to nourish or to elevate us as spirit to help us to fulfill our divine life purpose. So that is one of the systems. And quantum unity of CARALOT, there's a foundation. There's 2 books that I wrote. One was in 2021 and one I released in 2025. The first one is Get Your Black Belt in Proactive Wellness First Degree. And in there, I outlined the 7 portals of the Proactive Wellness system. So when I released that at the time, I felt I was writing it just to help everyone, to help them to improve their quality of life. However, fast forward into 2024, 2025, I realized why I formed the Proactive Wellness system is to help us to elevate our vibration, to help us to fulfill our divine life purpose. Because we all chose to come to the earth realm as spirits wearing these lovely costumes to fulfill a purpose. It's not to gather materialism. It's not any other reason but to fulfill a purpose. And when we get on our purpose, we have this inner fulfillment. We begin to have this glow, and universal intelligence, our angels, our spirit guides begin to orchestrate things behind the scenes to help us to fulfill our divine life purpose. So, and everyone that I've introduced CARALOT to, I preceded the conversation with, have you noticed a lot of the old systems are beginning to break down and fall away? Many are stepping away from organized religion. Many are not trusting the mainstream media anymore. We're all it appears that education in many ways has turned more into indoctrination. It's not about cultivating from within, it's bombarding information on the outside to the point where all these new labels are coming out to divide us even more. So they acknowledge, yeah, the old's falling away, we're losing trust in many of the old systems. I said, do you have any foresight as to what's going to come after they fall? And everyone said, actually, not really. It's just like a gray area. Then I introduced the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty, and even more important is the 12 branches of CARALOT that will help to create the new systems. And after I have a conversation with many about this, they have the glow in their eyes. There's a smile on their face. They can see a probable future beyond the gray cloud of the old systems falling away. So everyone who I've introduced them to, I said, number one, this is what I am personally creating. Like, I'm spearheading it, and many spirits and souls are coming, and they're seeing the light, and they would love to co-create with this as well. So I'm, bringing it to life, but we're going to co-create it together. And I said, the simple act of this conversation, you foreseeing this probable future of organized unity consciousness and these new systems, by the act of you just contemplating it, you're helping co-create it right now on the quantum level. So many are feeling inspired now. They're able to see beyond the gray cloud of old systems falling away. And what's to happen? Well, here's a new vision of it as well. And many, when they realize the depth and the organized planning behind this, it's very inspiring, because it's not just saying, oh, we're all one, and leave it at that. That's beautiful as that is. That's vague and open to interpretation. So the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty, I formulated as a new operating system. So human perception works like an operating system of a computer. It could be hacked, and it can also be upgraded. So spiritual sovereignty works as a 30 variable equation. The portals work out to be variables and form an operating system that we all can agree upon, and build the new systems built upon a collective operating system. And what's interesting is, as I was formulating the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty, what I had in my consciousness was the 100th monkey effect. Now, Sarah, are you familiar with the 100th monkey effect?
No.
Okay. So this, the idea behind the 100th monkey effect, it was a book written in the 1950s, and it was scientists going to an island and they were observing the monkeys, and they observed one monkey started to wash sweet potatoes. So interesting behavior, haven't done it before, interesting. Now the species of monkeys was being monitored on other islands. So shortly thereafter, it might have been a couple of months, well, sorry, correction, let's backtrack. One monkey washed sweet potato, other monkeys observed. Then they started washing it as well. And then monkeys on another island, same species of monkeys, started to do the same thing. And it's almost like it's spread throughout a collective consciousness. So every species has a collective consciousness. Now we all species, we have a one greater collective consciousness, but humanity has one collective consciousness. Dogs have a collective consciousness. These monkeys have a collective consciousness. So this wisdom was uploaded up to the cloud, and then downloaded by the other monkeys. So a book was written about this because it was such a profound observation from the scientists that they had to write about this probability of a collective consciousness that each species has. And in the book, I believe it is a holographic universe, it was mentioned that certain rats, a breed of rats on one part of the earth, were taught to run a maze. And they learned to run it, and there were other rats being monitored on another country, and they learned to run the exact same maze very much quicker than the initial maze that was created by humanity for this purpose. So it was a collective consciousness that was recognized in the species of rats. So 100th monkey effect, collective consciousness within species. So part of my intention for the 30 variables and the portals of spiritual sovereignty was to upload to the collective so it can be all downloaded by everyone else. So as I was creating this, it wasn't just words in a book and so on. It was a multidimensional intention, recognizing this time in history, we're going through the ascension process. I would love CARALOT to be one of the main players, so to speak, in helping to organize this unity consciousness. Because as I said, it's only when we organize unity consciousness, then we can build these new systems. Because if it's just we're all one, too vague. It's lovely, but it's just too vague. We can't build anything on top of that. So I built a very logical left right brain hemisphere connected equation that everyone who I've introduced to, they said, generally, I agree with everything that you're saying. Because I said, let me know if you disagree with any one of these portals. And I gave them the invitation to disagree, because if you don't and you are in alignment, we can begin to form organized unity consciousness. So we're going through a huge shift right now. So those of us who are aware, there's a storm. We can say it's an earthquake, we can say it's a vibrational hurricane, but we can weather the storm. That's why it's really important we cultivate this remembrance that we're spirits. This is a time of transition. And when we remember that we're spirits, we actually reactivate an inner strength that we don't have if we identify as only human, as we've been conditioned to identify with as well. So remembrance that we're spirits, this inner strength that we're remembering. And when I work with my clients, by the way, this is a major theme one-on-one. I get the personal guidance. I'm like, look at me as your human spirit guide, so to speak. And I'm here to help you, to remind you who you are, you have a purpose, and I help cultivate skills like how to regulate emotional energy, which is portal 3 of the proactive wellness system. So here are the tools for you to ultimately, everything comes back to fulfilling your divine life purpose. So many of us have signed up prior to coming to the earth realm to play the human game. There's going to be a huge shift in consciousness, and not everybody is going to remain alive. Some are going to transition back to the spirit realm because they're just not at the vibrational level, which is part of their soul contract with themselves. But we're going to be building a new earth, and these new cycles of time, Hopi, Mayan, Aztec, whatever Edgar Casey foresaw, we're doing our part to organize, to be able to bring it through an organized system of CARALOT.
Yes, it's very, very exciting.
Yes.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I wanted to share with you a bit about my journey, because my calendar age right now is 46. Now, we do have 4 ages. We have our calendar age, we have our cognitive age, we have our cellular age, but us as spirits, our age is the number 8, you turn it sideways. We're infinite. So identify as an infinite spirit, but we have other ages to be aware of as well. So at the calendar age of 18, this ties into CARALOT, I got a free palm reading from my sister's intuitive friend, and it was informal. It was in a coffee shop, and I'm open to it. I wasn't turned off by it, but I was curious. So I go to the coffee shop, and I plop out my hands on the table. I was like, okay, so what do you see? First, she says, you got a lot of green energy coming from your hand. So again, age 18, new. I'm like, what's that supposed to mean? She said, well, you can use your hands to help people to heal. Really? And she said, yeah, you put your hands on them, you can help them to heal. I'm like, okay, that's a first. Really haven't heard of that other than, Jesus doing it. But okay, what else? She said, well, you got a double fate line on your right hand. I'm like, what's that one mean? She said, well, you're going to be changing people's lives for the better, not by the thousands, but by the millions. But that's a long time coming. You got a lot of work to do before then. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? That's interesting. I didn't close the door to it, but just felt very fascinating and curious, but let it go. Now, a week later, I put these hands to work, because what happened was the young lady I was dating at the time, I was going to meet her at a local coffee shop. I got there early. 2 of her friends were there early. And one of her friends had the look of agony on her face, and her name was Rosa. And I said, Rosa, you don't look good. What's going on? She's like, I have this horrible back pain. And her friend Lydia was massaging it. And I said, how long you had it for? All day. Has Lydia massage helped? Not in the slightest. I'm like, okay, this is going to sound weird, but I got an intuitive reading recently, and apparently I have some green energy coming from my hands. Now, I might be able to help you. I don't charge. I don't charge. I don't promise. I don't know what I'm doing. I said, are you open to that? She said, James, yes, I'm desperate. Okay, so I said, okay, so put your arms on the table and rest your head down, and I'm going to put my hands on your back, and just for a couple minutes. Again, I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm doing. So I said, you just close your eyes and breathe slowly and deeply. That's what my intuition says. So what do? I close my eyes. I put my hands on her mid-back. And what do I think of? Green energy. What else can I do? This is completely new. So about 3 to 5 minutes goes by. I wasn't really counting. I closed my eyes, green energy. I slowed down my breathing. And then I felt, pull the hands back and tell her to open her eyes, and it's done. And she stood up and she moved around. And I said, what's the story? She said, it's gone. No, seriously, Rosa, what's going on? Because I didn't know what to expect. No, seriously, it's gone. Are you sure? And she said, yeah, it's all gone. Wow, this is great. Thank you. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess there's something to this. So I put those hands to work on and off. I got distracted with some Western world living at the time. So I would go into my, young man phase, getting distracted, alcohol and various things as well, so on and off. But one interesting story I want to share is back in my early 20s, I believe my age was 25. I was working supervisor and trainer position at a marketing company. And I didn't put these hands to work for a while due to getting distracted with the Western world. Someone said, oh, I got this migraine headache and I'm going to go home. I'm going to just leave sick. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I told him about the green energy from the hands. I might be able to help. And so I said, are you open to me just putting my hands on the side of your head? And you just close your eyes and breathe slowly. Well, 3 minutes later, migraine headache gone, back to work. Oh, okay. And then employees started talking. And so I was very frequently, I would go around to employees who had a back pain or a migraine or something, and where they were just going to get up and leave. But, oh, talk to James. He can help you. And people are like, what are you talking about? And this whole energy thing, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what others do. This is like what I do. I don't promise, but I might be able to help. And then many felt energy moving within their physical being. It tingles, and then I do it for another minute. They get up and it's back to work as if they never had that, whatever I call them, energy blockages. And then eventually the vice president calls me in his office. He said, James, I know you're doing this. I know some people can do it, but you have to stop. Oh, may I ask why? And he said, yeah, you're doing it mostly on females and we can't risk any sexual assault or harassment.
Oh.
Fine. Okay, whatever. But I proved the point. I brought energy into the workplace, which was really cool. So I was told to stop. I was like, lose your job or stop doing this. Okay, so I stopped doing that as well. But I continued to do it outside of that office space, like with the work that I did with my clients. But that was a really fascinating experience of bringing something so metaphysical where I normalized it in a company that had about 100 employees as well. Now, most I did it on females because they're more generally open to this, but I did have males who experienced it and they were very flabbergasted because they never experienced anything like that. And every time I did it, there was always, most of the time, it was 100% whatever they felt was gone. And sometimes it was reduced significantly enough where they were able to continue going about their work as well. So and that's something that I've actually taught children, how to activate your palm chakras, feel energy. Because back in 2022, I had the synchronistic opportunity to work in 2 private schools. And in those schools, I did introduce doing energy work. So many of the children asked me, oh, I have a headache or I fell and hurt myself. And, oh, go talk to Coach James. So one school we were called coaches, not teachers. So they would come to me, and with children, it worked really quickly, 30 seconds, whatever it was gone. And then eventually I said, okay, you know what? I want to teach you how to do it because as much as I'm helping you to move your own energy, I want you to do it yourself. So I taught them how to work with their palm chakras, how to activate them and feel the energy. Great. Now you can do it on yourself and each other, and you don't have to ask me anymore as well. But the look on their face when they're feeling the energy between their hands, it was something very real. So helping them was one thing, but when they feel it themselves, I said, you're generating this energy yourself, and we all can do this. I've been doing it for a long time, but we all can do this. And I hope you take this with you for the rest of your life. So hopefully some of them did. I don't know where they are right now, but I introduced that. So that's going to be part of Educare for all of us, but especially teens and children. Because when we begin to work with our own energy field, what's going to happen is we're going to take responsibility for our own personal energy, and we're going to be less dependent on the healthcare system, and we'll just take more responsibility. We're not going to feel like victims to these physical being costumes. We're going to be the creator. And it's not about treating or preventing illness or disease, because those are very heavy words. It's all about regulating and circulating energy. When energy is regulated and circulated, the vibration of your physical being goes to a higher level. So cellular repair, regeneration, aging, all repair goes faster, aging is slower. And then we have more than enough energy. Why? Why do we come to Earth? To fulfill our divine life purpose. So generally, making this world a more interconnected, harmonious, and unified place. We all have the same divine life purpose, but how we express that is our own unique flavor and vibration as well. So yours is different from mine, but we're doing very parallel work. We're helping to elevate consciousness, ascension, remember that we're spirits, and so on, work with energy, but ultimately we do that in our own unique way.
It's so exciting.
That's a bit of a side note story. That does tie into my journey of all the work I had to do for 28 years. When I got the reading at age 18, I had a lot of work to do. It was a lot of like research and development, bringing it into the workplace, working with clients over the years, and really understanding the nature of consciousness, the nature of interconnected energy field we live in, the energy that our hands give off, the bioenergy field, the aura. So all of these things I was researching and doing what I could to turn it from fluff and woo down to a logical explanation that nobody can write off because it's all fantasy land. No. I found a way to turn it to an organized, logical system backed by verifiable evidence that's really hard to say, no, it doesn't exist. Because when I talk about this, I can be very clear and assertive. And one skill that I have, even I've done this with many men, is being able to turn a closed mind to an open mind. At least invoke curiosity, where they don't say, oh, you're crazy. They might walk away. They don't say anything, but I planted some seeds. And they walk away. They must be contemplating, what's this all about? What's this all about? Because it came from a male. Sometimes they need to hear it from a masculine voice to be taken seriously. But how I do it is I do it in a very logical equation. And 3 times in my life, someone overheard me talking, and not necessarily about this, but just explaining something. And 3 times in my life, individuals come up to me and they say, excuse me, are you a lawyer? And I said, no. Why do you ask? They said, well, how you communicate is so clear and articulate, and you build like an awesome case. I'm like, you know what? I will take that as a compliment. So clarity of communication, articulation, and being able to communicate in a way where what I'm with the visions and the ideas that I have, they are thinking the same thing. Because I want to communicate in a way where there's no misinterpretation. A lot of arguments come from someone says words, but the other individual has a different definition of that word, and then it could be confusion. So when I often communicate, I say, if I say a certain word, I'll say this word, and I'll say, and what I mean when I say this is this, this, and this. So always, clarity is a huge, huge, huge component of communicating unity consciousness. So everything that I did is a very logical, that both female and male experiences, they really resonate with, because it's love-based logic, it's spiritual-based logic. So I really did my best to intertwine them.
Yes. I find that, I think you're 100% right in the terms of sometimes most men need a logical explanation, and it's difficult for them to just accept what people are telling them. Even so, to approach that from a scientific kind of logical way is very helpful.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, it took a lot of time for me to formulate that. It wasn't just something that came to me. It's a lot of, okay, how do I rephrase this and so on. So it's been a long quarter-century journey of me putting these pieces of the puzzle together and finding the best way to explain it in a logical, but it's not just logic. Logic by itself is empty, it's void. Yeah. It's spiritual, love-based logic. So really, it's, again, left hemisphere of the brain, right hemisphere of the brain, feminine, masculine working in synergy.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And I'd love to know more about CARALOT.
Yes. Okay. So CARALOT, quantum unity of CARALOT. Quantum unity is an abbreviation of quantum community. So what is a quantum community? Well, it's a community that acknowledges we're all interconnected on the quantum level. So one of the foundations is we're all interconnected. So the illusion is, what our 5 senses tell us, is that we're separate from everyone and everything. Albert Einstein said reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. And for a long time, I was thinking, what is he talking about? The separation, the appearance of separation of everything is the illusion. We're all connected on that quantum level through energy, frequency, and vibration. So that's a little bit about quantum community, quantum unity. CARALOT, an abundance of love. However, I was also inspired over the years by the legend of Camelot, King Arthur, Merlin, the Round Table. And according to the legend anyway, whether it happened or not, we can't verify. Maybe if we do a past life regression, maybe. But so King Arthur, what he wanted was peace and prosperity for all of Camelot. And Camelot wasn't handed to him. He had to build it from the ground up as well. So, and he had Merlin as his intuitive guide to help him on the metaphysical. And Merlin was very interconnected with nature and the elements and the elemental realm as well. So Merlin was his guide, and Arthur had to create Camelot from the ground up. So that was it. There are many elements to that I found very inspiring. And Arthur lived from the heart. It wasn't the king, the dominant king. It was, I love first, and I just want peace and prosperity for everyone in his kingdom. So Camelot, CARALOT, so an abundance of love, plus a little bit of spin-off of Camelot as well. So that's where CARALOT came to be, by the way, as well. So CARALOT is also being formed as a private membership association. So a private membership association works outside of the public domain. So we have the public domain, which is where all the legal and all the other systems, education's in the public domain. But when you form a private membership association, it works in what's called the private domain. So private membership associations have a history. One of the most prominent times in history goes back to prohibition. So in Canada, US, alcohol was illegal at one point. So If you had alcohol, you could be arrested or whatever the punishment was according to the justice system. So you can have a private membership association where you can be in a public establishment, you can lock the doors, you can have the blinds up so people can see in, and you could be drinking alcohol, but the police couldn't come in. They couldn't because you have a private membership association. The laws are different from a private membership association in the private domain. So on that, so I'm kickstarting the Educare, but I'm just introducing it. But we want to bring many with beautiful multidimensional expertise like yourself. So you have a background in connecting with angels. So we'd love to have you as a part of that to introduce the concept of how to work with your spirit guides and angels, especially for the teens and children. Because the sooner we connect with them as well, the sooner we can get on our divine life purpose and begin to work with energy and create more harmony as well. So there is the Educare component, and there's going to be online as well as in-person on-site events. So there's going to be a lot of beautiful Educare online, which is lovely. So which is going to consist of the spiritual sovereignty course, the proactive wellness, get your black belt in proactive wellness. And that's the first book that I wrote in 2021. So black belt doesn't mean perfection. I do have a background in Kung Fu, by the way. So it's not, black belt doesn't mean perfection. It just means a high level of efficiency, awareness in daily application. So there's going to be a lot of guided spiritual sovereignty remembrance audios helping you to remember that you're a spirit. There's going to be Qigong videos as well, because there's going to be no longer than 15 minutes. The reason why is if you don't have a lot of time, but you want to work with your energy to maximize your divine life purpose, which is all why Proactive Wellness is put together, here's a 10-minute or 15-minute Qigong video you can do. Now, if you want to do something longer, we encourage you to go out into your community and take the classes and bring unity consciousness to your classes as well. But we want to have some express exercise videos to help them as well. There's gonna be some basic yoga for flexibility, basic lightweight training. So I created some lightweight training forms that are based upon Qigong as well. So for those, you can use 3 pounds, 5 pounds, or 8 pound weights. After that, it's a little too heavy. But for example, myself, I do some lightweight training, but the heaviest weights I lift are 8 pound weights. For a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm not about bulking up, I'm about maintaining tone. And 8 pound weights, no matter what my calendar age may be, and I do plan to live beyond 100 with the same abilities I have now, everything that I do now, I want to be able to do at that time. So 8 pound weights, very realistic as well. So Qigong inspired lightweight training videos, yoga videos, and also Kung Fu walking videos. So our balance plays a very important role in our quality of life. So back in 2010, I was walking somewhere and someone stopped me and said, "Excuse me, do you know martial arts?" And I said, "Yeah, how do you know?" He said, "It's how you walk." So I really reflected, how do I walk? Because I have really flat feet, by the way. I have the flattest feet in the world. When you look at my foot, where there's supposed to be an arch, you can't even slide a dime under there, like a coin, because it's just so flat. So statistically, I'm supposed to have poor balance, but I have better balance than most. Because in Kung Fu, we're taught when you walk, your whole physical being, your body's engaged. So every step you take is pushing down into the earth. Your core is engaged. So everything you do, let it be a block or a punch or walking, you do with your entire physical being. So every step I take is grounded. My knees have a micro bend and my core is always engaged to some degree. I'm not walking around with a really engaged core, but I'm just working with the whole being works as one. So everything you do in Kung Fu, you do as one. So the illusion is you block with your hand, you're actually using your entire physical being in conjunction with gravity and working with the earth as well. So that's how I walk automatically. So I've had some senior citizen clients last year. I said, I want to help you to improve your balance step by step. And I taught them Kung Fu walking exercises. So I extracted some of the training out of the Kung Fu training, just turned it into the walking exercises. And they improved all their balance. I said, you got to be patient with yourself. It's not going to happen overnight. Patience. Give yourself 3 to 6 months of doing these on a regular basis, and you're going to notice every step you take is going to improve your balance. And I had one client, male, age 75, he said he had an opportunity to slip and fall. However, he did not, and he credited what I taught him as to why he didn't slip and fall. And many in the senior world, a big fear is slipping and falling because you can break your bones or something along those lines. You can get injured. So this can help remove that. And so no matter what our age is, if we walk with that confidence with our entire physical being, our quality of life is automatically higher as well. So that's going to be built into some CARALOT Educare. It's going to be emphasized for the seniors, but also encouraged for everyone to take it as well. It's one of the best trainings I ever got in my entire life as well. So, and there's going to be actually in-person training events as well. So spiritual sovereignty family reunion. So imagine this. Canada, US, Spain, convention center where thousands of us come together as sovereign spirits. We do like a CARALOT family reunion. So there's the big events. We could do also tropical retreat events, more specific ones. We could do weekend workshops like Spiritual Sovereignty Remembrance Weekend, Get Your Black Belt and Proactive Wellness Weekend. So a lot of these are in the works. These are already generally created. It's just a matter of how we're going to put them into a day-long retreat, a weekend retreat, or a week-long, and so on. So there's a lot of possibility, but the key is the internet is great. It's beautiful. We can come together virtually, but nothing replaces us coming together in person, which ties into, and that's just a basic introduction to Educare. A lot is coming, by the way, and many are looking forward to this. And especially for children, working with their energy and their aura, that's going to be such a beautiful thing. So next is the CARALOT Ambassador Program. Again, it's great to meet online, but imagine spiritual sovereignty pods forming worldwide. So CARALOT is like a chandelier, and the more of us join the light bulbs, it becomes a brighter and brighter chandelier. However, the CARALOT Ambassador Program is we're able to come together in a very safe space locally and talk about our multidimensional experiences. Now, another thing to talk about regarding CARALOT is bringing official acknowledgement and recognition to the following fringe concepts, or fringe in the regular world. Intuition, it's a tree with many branches. Near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, afterlife communication with our loved ones in the spirit realm, both human and animal, because they can come give us messages as well. Spirit guides and angels, past life memories, synchronicity, and the paranormal. So I've had many of those experiences. And so many have had these experiences, but they don't want to talk about it with many because they don't want to be judged as crazy and called insane. Well, guess what? In CARALOT, this is our new normal. This is us as spirits having a multidimensional earth realm experience. This is our new normal. We talk about this, and I have many who are looking to be interviewed. So CARALOT's going to have a CARALOT interview series where if you had a near-death experience, we love to hear about it because that's evidence that we're spirits and not just the human form. And an out-of-body experience, if you had an intuition experience, I'm sure you and I, Sarah, can talk about synchronicity forever because we just had so many of these. So not only we're going to do recordings of interviews online through CARALOT Educare, through the membership portal, we're also going to be able to come together in real time and talk about these experiences, multidimensional experiences. So like, for example, in my family, out of my 3 other siblings, I'm the one where the loved ones in the spirit realm, both animal form and human form, come to me, and they want me to let everyone know they're very much alive. In fact, they're more alive on the spirit realm, but I'm the one who's most open. So they come to me and they know that I can bring down the message from them that they're doing very well. They're just operating on a different vibration. They shed their human costume. They're not dead. So I don't even use the words death, dead, or dying because they're very heavy. So I always say transition, crossover, across the rainbow bridge, or something that implies, or go home. Because remember, Earth realm is a school and a playground we're only visiting, but spirit realm is our true home and origin. So we'll be able to come together and share these experiences. And even with my clients, I give them the opportunity to share these experiences. Some have had them, some have not. Some have had a multitude of these. So when they talk to me, I said, did you notice that when we talk about this, does it feel like home? And they say, you know what? Yeah, it does. So I want CARALOT to feel like home. Let it be online or in person or at our big events or these local ambassador programs. I would love us to be able to come together and feel like home, because many are searching for that. Now, you and I both know true home is from within, but when we connect with others who are at that parallel multidimensional vibration, it really does feel like we're creating a sense of home as well. So the ambassador program is another component that many are very much looking forward to, because it's not just a group of individuals coming together with common cause. This is built upon a vibration of CARALOT. So it's all these layers and circles built within. So it's all being built on top of each other as well. So the CARALOT ambassador program, many are also looking forward to. Yes. Do you have any questions about that, Sarah?
It sounds absolutely so exciting, and just this such a good high vibration when I hear it. Like, you can feel it in your heart.
Yes, I'm glad you recognize that. All right, now let's go into the next one of the other branches is CARALOT, certifications. So a lot of the old systems, they have their old ways. So we want to bring in what is into the new. So for example, the Sovereign Spirit Guide or Spiritual Sovereignty Guide. So that's a lot of what I've been doing with my clients, is applying spiritual sovereignty, proactive wellness into, no matter what reason they come to see me, it always goes back to remembering yourself as a spirit. So many have felt, and even Lonna has vocalized this, I've experienced this to varying degrees, is when you awaken and remember that you're a spirit, and what's called a spiritual awakening, it's often a lonely experience. Not all the time, but often, because relationships come to an end, because your vibration shifts, and law of attraction will somehow, some way separate you. So there's a time of transition where you have to do your own solitude and inner reflection. Okay, well, this is really a new world for me. It can often feel like a lonely journey. So the spiritual sovereignty guide can help you and guide you, help you to remember that you're a spirit, give you the support and the love that you need, and also help you to really remember your divine life purpose. So that's going to be one of the certifications. So in that certification, they're going to be taught basic hypnosis, basic breathing, basic qigong, and a couple of other elements as well. So I have a background in hypnosis, by the way. It's actually 2026 is my 20th anniversary of getting my hypnosis certification. So back when I got my hypnosis certification initially, it was for, stop smoking, lose weight, surface level things. They improve quality of life. But I started to realize it's surface level. I want to go deeper. So now I've used hypnosis as a means to help remember that you're a spirit. Because when someone's down in hypnosis, you're getting down deeper and deeper, and then you lose the labels. You don't identify with your physical being, that human part, the costume. So I use it as a tool of remembrance. So in Educare, as part of the spiritual sovereignty course, there's going to be accompanying spiritual sovereignty remembrance audios where you're guided down into the hypnotic quantum level of consciousness, and you're reminded that you're a spirit and you embrace your identity as a sovereign spirit. So hypnosis can be a tool to help us remember as well. So that's a new application that I know quantum hypnosis healing technique can definitely lean in that direction. I know it focuses generally more on past lives, or even sometimes life between lives, which is a very fascinating realm to visit as well. But so ultimately that certification will be there as well. And also in the old system, we have weddings. So soul union ceremony facilitator. Or spirit union ceremony facilitator. So two spirits that can come together and co-create a new reality with each other. So it's more of a multi-dimensional experience and not just the weddings and the contract. And sometimes it can come with some heavy energy in the old system. So it could be a very heavy energy. And you and I both know the quote unquote divorce rate is in and around 50-50 in like Western world type countries as well. So there are many reasons behind that, but it wasn't a multi-dimensional two spirits coming together. It was two humans coming together, and hopefully they get along. So the Spirit Union Ceremony Facilitator certification program, that's going to be available for the new quantum unity of CARALOT. The Sovereign Spirit Last Rites certification. So before we transition back to the spirit realm, sometimes we would love to go through a sacred ceremony. Your time is coming, and this isn't a fear-based thing of what's going to happen after I die. Again, we don't use that language. So you're going to go back home. Who would you like to come visit you when you cross over? Would you like certain animals to come that have been in your life? Are there certain members of your family that have already transitioned that you would love to meet? Would you love to do an official invitation to your spirit guides and angels to come meet you when you cross over? So it turns more into a loving, harmonious, multidimensional experience where you're going home and you're doing a last celebration, and everyone who is currently in the earth realm right now, before you go, you're ensuring that you're leaving with love and light as well. So it's an opportunity to transition back home in a very multidimensional, loving unity way as well. And then on top of that, there is the afterlife celebration facilitator. So when someone crosses over, instead of the heavy funeral type energy, which is found in most of the world, it's more of a celebration of life as well. Now, there is always a time to grieve, and I naturally grieve as well. But when I grieve, my tears are more of love. And I acknowledge they're not dead. They're in a different form. Our love is always and forever. Our connection's always and forever. But I do grieve the physical connection, right? It's all part of the human experience, which I embrace. It's not like, they're in a better place. They went back home and I'm going to go about my life. No, the more you love someone, the more you can grieve. And just like the grieving is, in a way, for me, is more of a celebration too. There is some sadness connected, but that sadness is built upon a vibration of love. So there's the opportunity to do a life celebration where you remember the beautiful times and the lessons shared and reflect upon the soul contracts as well. So there's going to be those certifications as well. And one of those certifications is a CARALOT ambassador, will be a certification program in and of itself. And then there's going to be the proactive well care practitioner. So just as there is the healthcare system, which you and I both know, if we're going to use some synonyms, it's going to be more like the sick care system. It's very heavy energy. And it's built upon, disease and illness and keeping you in a pattern of feeling like a victim. So the proactive welfare system, which is another branch, is going to be uniting all naturopathic, homeopathic, Ayurveda, osteopathy, traditional Chinese medicine. We've all heard of these over the years. As well, Ayurveda is traditional Indian medicine, which goes back thousands of years, just like Chinese medicine goes back thousands of years. Homeopathy goes back about 250, 300 years as well. Herbalism, which is a branch of Chinese medicine, yoga, qigong, tai chi, some of the new emerging technologies, quantum biofeedback, pulse electromagnetic frequencies, holistic nutrition, hypnosis, and all of its different applications as well. So I currently, on my list, I have 45 different modalities to come together. So imagine you have the healthcare system, and then you have the proactive well-care system. So the proactive well-care system is uniting all these modalities, but there needs to be a foundation, and the foundation is a proactive wellness system. The 7 portals of the proactive wellness system are the foundation, and these modalities support that. It's not reactive, fight disease, it's proactive. What do we do with proactive wellness? It's all about regulating, clearing energy blockages and circulating energy. So what do they all have in common? Qigong, Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, homeopathy, they all ultimately clear energy blockages. And we also have to be singing the same song. And what song and message is that? It is, we don't treat or cure illness or disease because we don't believe in such things. What we do is we elevate vibration and consciousness, and we help you to clear energy blockages, but we are tools. Let's just say, Sarah, let's just say I practice Chinese medicine, and you came to see me because you had shoulder pain or something like that. My job working in the proactive welfare system is, by the way, so Sarah, I'm here to help you, but it's all about personal responsibility. You create the results. I'm here to help you, but you take responsibility. And on top of that, are you applying the proactive wellness system into your life? Are you doing your breathing? Are you doing some qigong? Because we always encourage you to go back to that to regulate your energy, but I'm here as a tool. I'm not going to cure anything. All I'm doing is helping you to release energy blockages. So it's all about personal responsibility built on the proactive wellness system. And it's the proactive well-care system that's going to be built on top of the proactive wellness system, which is an excellent foundation. It's a vibration that we can all come together. And I have to share with you a major synchronicity that ties into this. So in 2016, I already had, CARALOT in the vision. I had the vision of uniting everything natural at the time. I didn't coin the term proactive wellness at the time, but I was thinking wellness industry. So north of Toronto, I was taking my nephew for a nature walk. And it was a place I go to very frequently. And there's a parking lot and then an open path area. And then there's a deeper forest. So we park the car, we walk along the open path area to take us to the forest. Before we get to the forest, this beautiful golden retriever walks up to us, trotting, they look really happy. And I said, "Oh, hi, buddy. Great to meet you." I was like, "Oh," I looked at the name tag, Trace, Trace, and a phone number. So I'm assuming his name is Trace. "Hey, Trace, nice to meet you." So what do? Call the phone number. "Hi, my name is James. This is where I'm located, and I believe I found your dog Trace." He's like, "Oh yeah, you did find Trace." So I found out that the man on the other line, he's on the phone. He said his wife was in the area, and Trace must have got away. Very unusual for him to do so, but he got away. I said, "Great. So my phone number's on your call display. Give your wife my phone number. She can call me, and we can arrange the pickup for Trace." Great. So I found out that the wife practiced yoga and homeopathy. Now, what was more synchronistic is that the man on the other on the phone, he had the position of registrar for the Ontario College of Homeopaths. However, that governs Ontario is a province within Canada. However, his position governed all of Canada, even though it just said Ontario. So what's interesting was he was always looking for a third party outside of homeopathy to validate homeopathy. Number one, homeopathy has been attacked in the media over the years, and the medical did a smear campaign against it because, what's going on behind the medical. They want to put doubt, we'll call it reasonable doubt, in everyone's consciousness about anything natural, and what they offer is the absolute truth. So they do a smear campaign in the media to discredit homeopathy. And on top of that, if you're in homeopathy, you have a bias. So he was praying almost for a third party outside of homeopathy to validate homeopathy. And here I said, well, this is synchronicity because I had this vision of uniting not just homeopathy, but everything natural together under one umbrella, which would act as your third party that you've been praying for. So him and I both acknowledge that Trace, spirit, our angels work through him to connect us, to bring us together as well. So I know it was last autumn, like that was in 2016, and I reconnected with this individual who is a registrar of the Ontario College of Homeopaths in early December of last year, because almost 10 years went by. I'd had a lot of work to do, and I said, we're launching in 2026. I want to bring you up to date. I introduced him to the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty, the 12 branches of CARALOT, and I said proactive well care is where homeopathy would get its recognition, its shout out, but it doesn't cure disease. It releases energy blockages. So he was in alignment with everything. He said, just keep him posted. This is a big undertaking. I reminded him, I said, remember, this is a 20-year plan. However, within 2 years, proactive well care system will be operational as well. So the proactive well care system is going to be uniting everyone. And I've spoken to individual practitioners as well as a few associations over the years. But I said, if we can unite under one umbrella, just as medical did, would you be interested? Yes or no? And they said, well, you know what? If you phrase it like that, yes. So they're looking forward to it being, if it needs to be organized in a certain way. So CARALOT's going to have its CARALOT Homeopathy Association, CARALOT Chinese Medicine Association, CARALOT Hypnosis Association. So all these associations are going to come and form the greater whole of the proactive well care system. So that's something many are looking forward to, because many were actually like, I would love if this were to happen, but nobody's done anything about it, not even close. These associations are great, but many practitioners who are part of association, many feel, I'm paying this association, but I'm not getting much out of it in return. I understand it's bringing the community together, but they don't feel like what they're getting in exchange equals what they're giving. So CARALOT and the proactive well care system is going to change that completely. Number one, you're going to be part of the greater chandelier of unity consciousness of CARALOT, but you're going to be providing that opportunity for everything natural to come together, where you're not going to be competing against each other. You're going to be cooperating, because those of us were starting to wake up and realize, you know what, medical is more of a last resort type thing. When all of us start to wake up, there's not enough practitioners to be able to serve us all as well. So, but also too, in regards to acupuncture, I get acupuncture once a month. Do I have any aches or pains? No, I want it to amplify my vibration. You can use a lot of these modalities to raise your vibration and do it more proactively. When I go to quantum biofeedback, I get a quantum tune-up done once a year. What happens is, my practitioner, who also does Akashic record reading, she does animal communication, she says, James, you're the only one who comes to me for proactive purposes. Yeah, raise my vibration, clear my aura. So it puts a smile on her face that I validate the technology in a new way, that many go for reactive purposes. I have this going on, I have that going on. Well, I go for proactive purposes. I have no complaints. I'm very proactive with my energy. I do Kung Fu, breathing, Qigong every day. I go for walking every day, very proactive with my energy to stay ahead of the curve and lead by example, of course. However, I do understand that we live in an interconnected energy field, and we may absorb others' energy subconsciously. So I do what I can to stay ahead of the curve. So when I go get quantum biofeedback, it's not just quantum biofeedback, it's to connect with my practitioner as well, to co-create a lovely experience. Same thing with acupuncture. I do an exchange with someone who does acupuncture with me. I do hypnosis to help her to clear her energy field. She does acupuncture for me to help clear my energy field. She also does some energy work, and I do energy work with her as well. But it's all about being proactive and staying ahead of the curve as well. So that's a big one as well. Another branch, one more branch we can talk about is CARALOT Media and Entertainment. So we do have some within the CARALOT community who have experience creating documentaries, creating videos, and so on. So there's going to be inspirational genres for shows and movies. So inspiration, what's the root of inspiration? In spirit, in spirit. So recognizing multidimensional awareness. So imagine movies and shows, inspirational comedy, inspirational adventure, inspirational action, all ties around and revolves around us as spirits. And there have been shows that have come out bits and pieces over the years about that, but we want to make it a bit more mainstream. And there's a show called Beyond Chance. It was released 25 years ago, and it was all about documenting synchronicities. So and these synchronicities, all I have to say is, wow, defy mathematical probability. So they reenact these synchronicities, and they interview those who've experienced them, and then they reenact them as well. So we want to be able to do the same thing, our own show version of that. But on top of that, we're also going to do Caralot Akasha records. So the many musical artists out there who do sound baths, who have very inspirational lyrics, but they didn't want to, quote, sell out to the darker entertainment industry, because that industry is very dark, and that's putting it very lightly, and we don't have to go into detail about that. So they're not making a lot of abundance from their music. So we are forming Caralot Akasha records, not Akashic, Akasha records, and many love that label. And that's Andre's going to be handling that. So Andre's handling all the technology for Caralot, but he also has experience in music. And he said, when he brought up the idea of a record label, he's like, oh, by the way, James, I already have all the contracts all created. I'm like, wow, you're ahead of the curve. The question is, what are we going to call it? So I was thinking Caralot Akasha Records. He's like, James, home run. And Lonna, when she heard it, she got the goosebumps. So yeah. Caralot Akasha Records, and we've introduced this idea to some artists out there who do sound baths, who do the crystal bowls, who do the singing, the chanting, and so on. They love the idea. So in Caralot Media and Entertainment, there's also Caralot events, by the way, which I mentioned, but Caralot concert series. So we'll be able to do this around the world. So do Caralot concerts where we come together, and it's all spirit coming together to create a beautiful high vibrational musical experience as well. So those are a couple of the branches as well for the quantum unity of Caralot.
I can imagine that people who are listening are maybe very, very, very excited about all of this information. How would somebody get in contact if they'd like to be part of this?
So we're going to be launching the official membership on February 22nd, 2022, and that's a few days after the Year of the Fire Horse starts as well. Because we were contemplating, do we launch it in January, which was one of my initial intentions, but we're still in the Year of the Water Snake, and it's about shedding skin, letting go energy. The energies are out of line. So I said to Lonna, when's the best date astrologically, and with your very powerful intuition, what's the best date for us to launch? 2022, February 22nd, done deal. So right now you can go to www.caralot.org, CARALOT.org. And then there's a brief introduction, a video of myself, which I did at the beach. And it was just a few-minute video just talking about the old systems falling away. All of us are starting to wake up and remember that we're spirits, and we need to come together for organized unity consciousness. So you can put your name and your email address in the contact form. We're forming an email list right now. We're going to be sending out an email in about a week and a half, letting everyone know this is the launch date, and this is what we're going to be offering as well. So we look forward to you joining the family of the quantum unity of Caralot as well. So if you go to www.caralot.org, name, email address, we'll add you to the list, and then we'll keep you up to date, not just with the launch, but also we're going to be always adding Educare. We're going to be doing podcasts within as well. Like Lonna's going to be doing a what do we call it? It's an astrological weather podcast, so to speak. So what's going on with the stars and the planets and how it's affecting us. So we're going to have a couple different multi-dimensional podcasts as well. One of them too is Caralot After Dark, talking about paranormal experiences. Paranormal is nothing to be afraid of, by the way. Anytime I've had paranormal experiences, I've been very curious. Sometimes I had to clear some energies, and we're going to be sharing, if you have some paranormal activity going on that has been uninvited, like that you didn't invite, but you want to clear, there's certain things that you can do personally to help clear your energy field. So we're going to be able to provide so many resources about our multidimensional experience, and we would love to be able to share that with you through Caralot's online Educare. And remember, this is a 20-year plan. So 2026, a lot of synchronicity has been happening, but to build our communities and the quantum unity centers and then some, it's going to be many years of building and creating. So I'm dedicating the rest of my life to working full-time plus, because this is my divine life purpose of just, leading the torch, leading by example, and creating wherever I have to go, wherever my spirit guides guide me to where I have to go for Caralot. And one of them is Mexico coming up, by the way, as well. A new school is being built there, a very prestigious school, and they want me to contribute to the curriculum as well. So it'd be opportunity for Caralot Educare for teens and children to get a real rubber meets the road and apply stuff there as well. But again, so February 22nd, mark your calendars, because we're going to be launching then. And it's 11:11 on my clock, by the way. That's always lovely to see. So we'll keep you up to date with everything and all the additions that come up with Caralot, because there's always going to be reasons to come back online, but also to meet in person as well. Because we're going to be doing CARALOT ambassador program. Oh, you're located in this city. Click here, and here are the ambassadors and their schedule where you can come up, because there are going to be different opportunities to connect with others as well. So online is beautiful, but let's bring us sovereign spirits together in real time, in person, so we can start forming a really bright chandelier to shine around the world.
Yes, that's so exciting. Thank you so much, James, for taking the time to explain all of this. It's just mind-blowing. I cannot wait for it to launch in February.
Yes, mind-blowing, heart-opening, and I look forward to you co-creating it with us as well, because I really love your energy, and what you're going to be able to contribute to Educare will just be absolutely beautiful. And as I said, your accent is very magical, which is very much the Irish background. I have some Irish blood in me, but clearly my family goes back to Canada several generations. But your accent is just very beautiful, and to do like children's Educare and teens Educare with spirit guides and angels, it would be such a beautiful experience. We look forward to you co-creating with us as well.
I'm also looking forward to it as well. Is there anything you'd like to tell our listeners, any advice or any kind of heartfelt, I suppose, guidance for people who might be struggling right now?
Yes. So we have intuition. So intuition is our inner knowing, and it can guide us. A lot of us are going through a lot of challenges right now, a lot of twists and turns, a lot of relationships coming to an end. And it's how we approach those changes that raises our vibration or lowers it. So one thing I like to do on a daily basis is firm and strengthen my connection to the collective consciousness. So the collective consciousness is something we all share. What the teens and children that I worked with, I introduced it as the spiritual internet. I said we have computers, we have smartphones, and they connect to a wireless internet. Well, us as spirits, we can connect to a collective consciousness, and which I touched upon with the 100th monkey effect on the rats as well. So what we can do is close our eyes and imagine a column of light coming up from your crown chakra. And it could be a white or it could be a violet, depending upon the chakra, but your personal preference of color. And you send the column of light up to a cloud. So you see the cloud very much above the sky, and you connect to the collective consciousness. So by you taking this, could be 30 seconds, you could take 5 minutes. What I encourage you to do is, let's just say you don't want to be thinking about time. You want to be in the moment. We all have these smartphones, most of us. Set a timer for 5 minutes, and then you let that keep track of time, where you're in the moment, close your eyes, do the column of light up to the cloud. And by you doing this, you are literally connecting more to the collective consciousness to give you the inspired ideas. If you're going through this challenging situation, well, how many different ways can I approach this? Because if we're operating out of fear and heaviness, we might only have one way to handle it. But if we go within, connect to the collective consciousness, we might get 3 or 5 options. And then we examine which option will bring us the most harmony in the end. But understanding there's going to be some discomfort with what we're going through, but how can I do it with more inner peace? How can I do it with more harmony? How can I separate from this relationship with the most peaceful way? Asking certain questions, inspired-based questions, but connecting to the collective consciousness, your intuition will amplify, and you'll be able to hear more clearly from your spirit guides and angels on how to best move forward during these times. So it could be 30 seconds, could be 10 seconds, could be 5 minutes. Either way, taking a little bit of time every day to do this, you are being proactive in connecting with the collective consciousness and being proactive with creating your reality during these times of transition.
Thank you so much for those wise and wonderful words. Very helpful.
Yes, and thank you again, Sarah. It's an honor to be on your multidimensional podcast.
Looking forward to February and seeing you again soon.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Thanks again, Sarah.
Take care, James. Bye-bye.